Today I'm exploring the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in search of a bird that sees you well before you see it. A patroller of the boreal forest floor, the spruce grouse, or as I like to call them, pine chickens. Spruce grouse are found all throughout the boreal forests of northeastern Canada all the way to Alaska. There are two primary subspecies of spruce grouse. The western subspecies, formerly called Franklin's grouse, and the eastern subspecies, which is the dominant subspecies. But there is far more to these birds than their range and good looks. Let's take a closer dive into the lives of eastern spruce grouse here in the beautiful UP of Michigan. I am 10 feet away from a male spruce grouse, and it is just foraging out in the open at this private property. We're right on the edge on a public road, so we're in the safe zone. It is literally feeding out in the open, not a care in the world. Absolutely stunning bird. These are typically very seldomly seen birds, but this is a bird that clearly has not experienced human interaction, so it is literally walking towards me, and I'm just talking because it's just curious. It's like, what is that thing? It probably has no conception of us, which is really, really rare to see these days, but this is definitely an adult. This morning, we were lucky enough to look to about 7 birds. We just stumbled upon 3 spruce grouse. I was getting a little worried, but we found them. Oh my gosh, there's a ton of them. Oh wow. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 spruce grouse. Okay, 7 spruce grouse. There was immature males, but the adult was a female, and I was really hoping to see the striking male. And these males are just beautiful. They've got this red, fleshy eyebrow, and then they have this black, kind of grayish pattern on their breast, and then these beautiful white flanking. And look at him, he's just so curious about my voice that he's just coming closer and closer to us. You know what he's doing right now? He's frozen, and it looks like you can't see him because he's blending so well into the woodpile there. See, it's unreal. He's still there, right out in the open, but you can't see him because he freezes. That's what these birds do best. Their subtle movements keep them very safe. They might look stupid, but honestly, they are very well adapted for this environment. Well, you know, a chicken might not look like the smartest animal on the planet, but you gotta hand it to these guys. Spruce grouse will forage mostly on the ground, as this guy's doing. It's doing an interesting feeding mechanism right now, where it's creating a little ditch for itself, and then prying the earth and finding insects inside. Something else they will do is they will fly up to the trees about mid-height, and they'll just sit there and they'll freeze. So let's say a bobcat or something else is in the area. These birds will fly up to a spruce tree, and you'd be shocked. Even though this bird looks like it'd stick out like a sore thumb, up against the lichen-filled branches, these birds will literally blend in perfectly to a surrounding spruce branch. And predators won't know where they are. It's unreal. And humans won't know where they are. I'm sure we drove this road this morning and this guy was sitting in a tree. Not a chance that I saw him. I just happened to see a little tiny face sticking out of the corner of this brush pile, and I knew. A good time to see spruce grouse is typically the early morning or late afternoon. Early evening, I would say, kind of when the sun is getting lower. They tend to forage a lot more. Clearly this guy is just, his mind is on nothing else but finding food and figuring out what the heck this giant orange sweater wearing talking dude is. It's really important when we see birds that aren't used to people but are very tame with people to practice good ethics. So for example, this grouse clearly is not used to people, so it came right out in the open, was just curious, trying to figure out what we were all about. It's one thing to push the bird, get the bird to fly into a tree for a photo. I've actually known people to do this. That is just so wrong and uncalled for. The bird is just doing its own thing. There's no need to disrupt it from its natural behavior. Just observe the bird for what it's doing. If it's not giving you the best look, that's the look you got. And that's the amazing part of birding. You never really know what look you're going to get. It's just about the little moment that you get with that bird, whether it's a brief 3-second look or a prolonged 5-minute look like we just had with that grouse. But every moment is special. And here's where it really kind of motivates me. If your look wasn't that good, you will assuredly get better looks if you try for them again. So just encourage you to go back outside, go back out to your backyard, try to get those looks that you wanted. And if you got the best looks in the world, then you can check that off your list and move on to another species. So just take every little moment for what it is. It's not just about getting the best picture in the world or getting the best look in the world. If you see the bird, you can confidently identify the bird. That's all that really matters. That's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I really care about these birds, and it's great to get a great look and good photos, but that's not what it's all about. Show gratitude to the birds. You gotta give them credit as much as you give yourself credit for finding it.